Hello everyone. In this session we are going to discuss about the block diagram of a system. As we know, theoretical analysis of any system can be possible by converting the system into mathematical equivalent, that is nothing but transfer function. For this we have to convert a system into multiple subsystems and assigning each gain block to every subsystem and connecting the blocks as per the system alignment using summing points and branch points. So this forms the block diagram of a system. Here the advantage of this method is irrespective of the size of the industrial plant or industrial process or a system with n number of finite subsystems, we can convert it into pictorial representation, that is nothing but block diagram representation, and further it can be converted into simple mathematical equivalent in the form of transfer function. So finally, what is the advantage of the block diagram is that it is nothing but pictorial representation of the system which represents so each subsystem, that is nothing but functional component or subsystem, are connected with flow of signals from one subsystem to another subsystem. So as I already told you, block diagram represents, it simplifies the representation of a complex system, and also block diagram enables us to calculate the overall transfer function by using reduction techniques. So let us check what are the components of block diagram. The components of block diagram are blocks, arrows, summing points, takeoff points. So as I already told you, a system has multiple subsystems. Those subsystems are represented with blocks. This one is the block, and the gain of the subsystem is represented by g of s. So here g of s is the transfer function of subsystem. And next one, arrows. It represents the direction of flow of signals from one point to another point. So this one is the direction of the arrow. So means that this indicates that it is, here we have one subsystem, here we have another subsystem. The signal is flowing from this subsystem to this subsystem. So this is the representation of the arrow. And summing point. So these summing points are used to summate or subtraction of two or more signals. So this one is the example of the summing point. So we can give n number of inputs to the summing point, but we can take only one output. If u1 of s is the first input and u2 of s is the second input, finally y of s is equal to u1 of s minus u2 of s. If you take summing sum, that is nothing but positive here, then it will be u1 of s plus u2 of s. Next, takeoff point. So it is used to represent the branching of a signal. If we want the same duplicate signal, so just we are going to take that signal from the takeoff point. See here. So here it is u of s. If we need another duplicate of u of s, we have to take from it takeoff point. Now let us see. So this is how we are going to form the block diagram by looking into the system. That is nothing but blocks, arrows, summing points and takeoff points. After deriving the block diagram from a system, in order to reduce that one into the mathematical expression, we have to follow some reduction rules. That is nothing but rules of block diagram algebra. So this is the conventional rule, that is nothing but product rule. When two blocks are in series, then the resultant is product of two blocks. So that is the rule combining the blocks in cascade. So here G1 and G2 are in cascade. U is the input. So U into G1 is UG1. So UG1 into GT is UG1 G2. As I told you, when two blocks are in cascade, then it will be G1 G2 U into G1 G2. So this one is the result. Second rule is combining blocks in parallel. So this one is sum rule or addition rule when two blocks are in parallel. So G1 G2 are parallel. So when we can say two blocks are in parallel, because if you observe this G1 block and G2 block, here the flow of signal is towards right hand side, and for G2 also flow of signal is towards right hand side, and both are meeting at one summing point. So this is nothing but addition rule. So that is combining blocks in parallel. If you use the input signal, since G1 and G2 are parallel to each other, so therefore U into G1 plus or minus G2. So this one is the equivalent for this one. And next one, third rule, eliminating feedback loop. So here if you observe this one, so G1 G is having forward direction and H is having reverse direction. So that is the reason this one is named as feedback loop. So by normal convention, we already know that if a g of s is the forward transfer function and h of s is the feedback transfer function, so the normal formula is g of s by 1 plus g of s into h of s. If you take positive feedback, then g of s by 1 minus 1 plus g of s into h of s. If it is positive here, so g of s by 1 plus 1 minus g of s into h of s. So this one is the equivalent for this one. Next, interchanging the summing point. So the main use of summing point is to add or subtract two or more signals. So instead of giving all the signals at a time, so we are adding the signals or subtracting the signals in a step way. So that is nothing but we are taking two or more summing points. So we can interchange the summing points. So this summing we can bring this summing point towards left. So if we move this towards left, then it will be a plus c, and next a plus or minus c plus or minus b. This one is a good operation. Next, moving summing point after the block. So we are moving this one after to the block of G here. So this one is the equivalent for this one. So if you observe here, to this branch there is no gain block, but coming to here, after drawing the equivalent, we got the gain block here. So why? Because if you observe this one, so if U1 is the first input, U1 into G, U1 G, and if you don't add this one, then it will be U1 into G plus U2. So but we need G into U1 plus or minus U2. G into U1 plus or minus U2. So that is the reason we are adding gain block to this branch. Next, sixth one, moving a summing point before the block. So we are moving the summing point before to the block G, and this one is the equivalent for this one. So in the previous rule, we just added a gain block of G to U2 branch, but this time, so we are adding a gain block of 1 by G. Next, moving a takeoff point after a block. So we are moving this U1 branch of this branch to after the block G. So right now in the branch of this U1, in this takeoff point, G is not passing. But if you move this one to the right hand side of the G, then G will pass through this takeoff point. So that is the reason we are adding a gain of we are adding a block having a gain of 1 by G. Next, eighth rule. So let us go for the example. Now we have to write the transfer function for this block diagram. So whenever a block diagram is given and if they ask to find the transfer function, so what we have to do is that first we have to identify, is there any parallel blocks or series blocks or feedback loops. First we have to observe these three alignments are there or not. So if there is a combination like this, means blocks in parallel or blocks in series or feedback loop directly, first solve those things. And then go for the next step. But if we can't find these three cases, so we have to do the manipulations. We have to go for the block diagram. We have to follow the rules of block diagram algebra. If you observe in this block diagram, so there is no blocks that are in series or that are in parallel or that are in feedback loop. But if you observe this part, I'm showing here, if you observe this part, if we move this branch point to before the block G2, then G2, G3 will be in series or that are in cascade, so that we can product G2 and G3. So later on producting these two, cascading these two, if you observe G4 and G2, G3, these three blocks are in parallel, so that we can add these three. Okay, so my first reduction step is that one only. The first step is moving the H1 before to the block G2, and the second step is combining the blocks G2 and G3 that are in cascade, and next one is combining the blocks that are in parallel. See here, so I'm moving this branch point to left of G2. So up to now G2 is passing through H1, but if you move this branch point to the left of G2, G2 will not pass through H1. So that is the reason we are adding the gain block of G2 to this branch point, to this branch. Now G2, G3 are in series, so that is G2, G3, and next G4, G2, G3 are in parallel, so that is the reason G4 plus G2, G3. So the equivalent for this one is this one. Next, what is the next possible step is, if we move this branch point B to the right of G4, G2, G3, to the right of G4, G2, G3, then we can combine this negative feedback. What is the negative feedback loop here? G4 plus G2, G3 and H2. So this is a negative feedback loop. Okay. So if we move this branch point to the right of G4 plus G2, G3, then through this H1, G2, this gain will passes. So that is the reason, in order to deactivate that gain, we are adding another block of 1 by G4 plus G2, G3. So we added this one and then combining these two blocks. So you have to follow the feedback rule in the block diagram algebra. So if we combine this one, the resultant is this one. And later on, just G1 block and G4 plus G2, G3 by 1 plus H2 G4 plus G2, G3 are in series. If after combining this one, so this part is again negative feedback, forms negative feedback. So this is the resultant, and again we are going to eliminate negative feedback loop. So finally the transfer function is T of S is equal to Y of S by R of S is equal to G1 into G4 plus G2 G3 by 1 plus G1 G2 H1 plus H2 G4 plus G2 G3 plus G1 G4 plus G2 G3. So this is the final transfer function. Thank you.